checking out my Celtic Tune of the Month. This month we are staying in the world of folk music. However, we're going to adventure off into Afghanistan for a tune that I learned by ear about 20 years ago. So you'll notice in the teaching that as I teach it, it changes a little bit, and that's the tradition of folk music, because I did learn it by ear, and as far as I know, there is no sheet music for this music, so everything is definitely by ear. I did eventually put out some sheet music a couple months ago at a lot of people's requests, so if you would like to get the sheet music for it, you can become a Patreon subscriber at patreon.com, or you can buy it directly off my website at harpmuse.com. So enjoy. All right, this tune is in 3 parts. The first thing you need to do is, if your harp is tuned to C, you need to be in the key of C, and then you're going to lift the levers on your G string. So what we need is everything is natural except the G's are sharp. All right, so first part, we're going to start with, I use my 4th finger, you can use your 3rd, on the E string, and then the thumb's going to go up to B. So here's the okay, so it's E to B, and then down to A, back to B. Okay, then the next part starts on A. It's gonna, let me play it for you. So it's going up and down from A to B, then down from B, A to G, and then from G up to... Okay, so we're basically starting on A up to B, then you're going down 3 strings, and up 3 strings. So from the beginning we have... and then repeat that second part for another time. Then we start on A, that's the first part, and so that last bit of it is you start on A, go down 3 strings, go back to A again, and now 4 strings down to E. Okay, so the first part again is starts on E, goes up to B, and we have that run up and down of the 3 strings. We do that again. Start on A, go down 3 strings, back to A, and now 4 strings. Okay, so if I were to speed that up a little bit, it would sound like... So the second part is syncopated, but I'll give you the notes first. So we start with B up to E. So there's 3 E's. Now we start on E again, so this would be the 4th E in a row, and we go down to D, go back to E again, then 3 strings. Now we start on D and 3 strings down to B. So again, B to E, and we're going to do 2, 3, and now we're the 4th E, E, D, E, D, C, D, C, B. So here's the timing on it. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the end of the second part is the same as the end of the first part. So that second part altogether is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one is twice as long. I may have added to it over the years. I learned this about 20 years ago. There's no sheet music for it except for what I've recently put together. And there's only one recording, which is that I know of, which is Rudiger Opperman's, who I learned it from. But this is now how I play the third part, be it right or wrong. Okay, so we're going to start with E to B. So there's two. So there's three of those again, and then we go back to B, and then G, A, B. Okay. And the count on that is just like the second part: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then moving on, we go from B to D. Okay, so again we have these repeated notes on the D. So there's three of those, and then we do D again, 2 C's, and then C, B. Okay, and the timing on that is the same, syncopated. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then the last part, which is I think I tacked on, but this is how I play it anyway. We repeat that second part, so it's. So it's a little different. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1. Remember the ending of our first part. So here's the entirety of the third part all together, the way that I play it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you want to get a little fancy with the second and third parts, so on the second part we have. Right? If you want to get a little fancy with it, you can. Okay, so what I'm doing is the first part is the same: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Now I'm going back to the E. Okay, so up to a little up to tempo would sound more like. Okay, so you're outlining. You can do it either way, or you can mix it up. And then the same thing with the last part. So you can add that there. Again. So let's play the whole thing together. Now, the first two parts, the A and the B part, gets played twice, and then I tend to only play the third part once because it's so long. So here we go. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. I should say chord for this is very, very simple. You can just simply drone on that E, just the E's on their own. So you can drone on that, making it nice and simple. Or the other thing you can do is I like to just keep a rhythm. I'm just staying on the 2 E strings here. Okay, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have a couple options there. I will throw in some other chords, not chords but notes. But what I'm doing is I'm echoing my left hand octaves with the notes. So if I'm playing G, A, B, I'm playing G, A, B in the left hand, and then here B, D, C. Okay, so another thing you can do for variation, and of course you can come up with your own as well. Here's the very last part. Now Rudiger told me that these tunes could go on forever, and there's a lot of improvisation in between as well, but there was a signal when everybody was ready to end, and it went like this. It's one sequence that happens 3 times. The timing is a little tricky, so we start with E and D, okay, and then we add B, and then we add A, B, then we add the G, and then we add the E, and do that again. And so the second time we add the full run from E, G, A, B, D, E, then that E is when we start this again. Start it again. And the third time you end it. So it's a little tricky. I'll play it one more time for you, a little slower. So what I'm doing fingering wise is I'm using 1 and 2. Now I could use 3 down here if I want. I personally like to use my second finger of my left hand and then use 2 and 1 of the left hand, and then I'm using 3 fingers of the left hand like this. But for this one, instead of using 4 fingers, I use 3 and 3. But that's what works for me. You can figure out what works for you.